because you always just go active when like
I think it's like.
Oh, big up everybody tuned in. I look a bit weird there. Are we going to go back to normal? Oh, we're not, are we? Okay, it looks a lot normal here. Unfortunately, Jurrien Timber. Unfortunately, we have ran him into the ground. He's been unlucky with injuries. He missed, forgive me if I'm wrong, he technically missed Euro 2024 with an injury. He's set to miss the 2026 edition of the World Cup with an injury. Jurrien Timber, Netherlands confirm huge injury blow as Arsenal star ruled out of the World Cup. The Dutchman missed much of the Premier League running. Jurrien Timber has been ruled out of the World Cup with a groin injury, the Dutch national team has confirmed. The Arsenal right back missed much of the Premier League running through injury as the Gunners clinched the title for the first time since 2004. He returned off the bench late in the Champions League final to replace Mascara in the 66th minute. He did not take a penalty as we obviously lost the shootout. Timber was initially named in Ronald Koeman's World Cup squad despite his ongoing injury woes, but he has now been sent home after it was deemed he had not sufficiently recovered from his groin problem to play a medically responsible role at the tournament. A national team statement read, Jurrien Timber misses the 2026 World Cup. The 24-year-old defender has not recovered sufficiently from a groin injury to take part in the World Cup in a medically responsible manner. In consultation with the medical staff, it has therefore been decided that Timber will leave the national team's pre-camp in New York after the game against Uzbekistan. We're all with you, Jurrien Timber. Apparently, Sunderland's Gratrida, I cannot pronounce his name, but I'm sure Liverpool were linked with him, has been called up in his absence, people. Apparently, Koeman explained that Timber had impressed him when fit, but revealed he had not been able to train with his Netherlands teammates since joining up with the squad. When he trains and is fully available, he makes a good impression. That has not been every day. The Netherlands have been drawn in a tricky World Cup group. Obviously, he can't play against Japan, where he could have linked up with Tomiyasu. So that sucks. Get well soon. Nottingham Forest are aware of interest from Arsenal, Manchester United, and at least 3 other Premier League clubs in talisman Morgan Gibbs-White, who has enjoyed his best season to date at the City Ground, where he got 18 goals and 7 assists. Unfortunately for the 26-year-old, he did not make the World Cup squad. Manchester United admittedly have been linked with other targets as well as signing Edison, but they are still linked with Morgan Gibbs-White. Arsenal, it seems like, of all the links, we're aggressively linked with Jeremy Monger of Leicester. If you're talking a Premier League footballer, Morgan Rogers, and everybody's linked with Gibbs-White. He's seen as some reports say he's an alternative to Morgan Rogers. Some say we're in for them both. He's still linked with Spurs. He's actually linked with Aston Villa as a replacement for Morgan Rogers. So not a clue. Pardon me. The Gunners have made England star Morgan Rogers a top summer target, but will reportedly turn to Gibbs-White should they fail in their efforts to sign the Aston Villa man. Tottenham, who came close to Gibbs-White last summer, Aston Villa and Chelsea are also believed to be admirers of the player who helped Nottingham Forest secure their Premier League survival. Despite the substantial interest from some of the biggest clubs in the Premier League, Forest expect Gibbs-White to stay for at least one more season, according to the Daily Mail. Probably don't want to lose Elliot Anderson and him, and maybe even Murillo in the same kind of period. He signed a new 3-year contract at the City Ground after Spurs activated his 60 million release clause last summer, meaning Nottingham Forest are in a strong negotiating position. There's also a belief at Forest that while several clubs admire Gibbs-White, he is not yet their first choice target for either Arsenal or Manchester United. Manchester United's focus in the early part of the summer has been on midfield reinforcements. Edison, who's been called up because of an injury to Wesley to the World Cup squad, basically is a Man United player. Apparently, Carrick wants at least one more midfielder. Julian Alvarez is still linked with Arsenal. He's actually been linked with Arsenal, PSG, Barcelona again, and actually Real Madrid. Such as the fanfare around this 150 million mystery bid Real Madrid are planning, people. So I'm not sure where we go with that. I don't think anybody believes the Julian Alvarez rumors. Arsenal set new price to sign Eli Junior Kroupi after Chelsea transfer approach. So as it says here, we've been set a new price, people. He's enjoyed a fantastic season since moving for 10 million from Lorient. 13 goals in your debut season is great. Probably unfortunate that he's French or he'd be going off to the World Cup, but Yeah, he's had a perfect start to life in England. I would love him at the football club as well as Morgan Rogers. Been linked with PSG and Chelsea. It's even claimed Kroupi would favour a move to the back-to-back European champions despite interest from Arsenal and Chelsea. Apparently, Bournemouth's asking price is 100 million euros, which equates to 86 million. I have no doubt he'll be worth that in the future and is only going to get better. But at this moment in time, on top of everything else Arsenal want to do, feels like Bournemouth have priced him out of a move. Manchester City, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich are also said to be considering a move. According to the I paper, Bournemouth would in fact demand a fee well in excess of 100 million to sell this summer. The report says Bournemouth expect Kroupi to stay on the South Coast for at least one more season unless the player or his reps start pushing for a move. Areola, who might want to link up with him after he became Liverpool manager, has said, I think Junior has been a big challenge for me this season. One of the biggest challenges because we noticed straight away he has special things. His finishing is top for me, but we had a lot of work. We had to work a lot with him, especially he's had to do a lot of work that he wasn't used to in his minutes. He's been a much better player for me. I know he had a good start and scored goals, but I try not to talk to him about goals because this is something which is natural and he'll always have it. So I guess he's alluding to the other parts of the game. So I've tried to make him focus on other parts. He has improved a lot. In the past month, he allowed us to put a very offensive lineup because he's given us work rate so we can keep it all together and not suffer defensively too much. He's still very young and has just arrived into the Premier League. It's his first season. For sure, I think he'll play even more minutes next season and will continue evolving. He has a high ceiling, but I think this is the best place for him to continue his evolution. While the Premier League interest in Kroupi is coming from Arsenal, Chelsea, and Manchester City, Louis Sarr suggested Manchester United into the race. Nobody cares enough to read all of that. So, yeah, people. Bournemouth have slapped 100 million asking price on him. So a 90 plus surplus. And Liverpool and PSG, as well as Arsenal and Chelsea, as you lot can see there, have been name dropped. What's this? Apparently, Arsenal have agreed personal terms with Leicester youngster Jeremy Monga. Seems like that's moving in the right place. Romano, Hand of Arsenal, all those creditable people saying we're looking to get him. You would have seen this week Emmanuel Mbemba, an 18-year-old French youth international who can play as a centre-half, a left-sided centre-half, as well as a left-back. He's drawing interest from Arsenal, and we could potentially pick him up on a free transfer, but we're not alone. Apparently, some rumours say we see him as a top left-back. Saliba might need surgery. Arsenal to make decision on William Saliba's surgery post-World Cup. Arsenal will make a decision on whether William Saliba, 25, will have surgery on chronic back pain after the FIFA World Cup, as per a report from L'Equipe. The concern primarily came from his entourage. The French national team medical team showed less concern, while Didier Deschamps has also struck a positive tone. While Saliba was not involved in the defeat to Ivory Coast last Thursday, as was always planned, he's expected to start against Northern Ireland tonight. However, that is not to say that he does not continue to suffer from a back problem he has done for some time, just like Declan Rice. During a session over the weekend, Saliba could be seen grimacing at certain movements of the training at Club Fontaine. At the end of the World Cup, a decision will be made. Arsenal have the choice of a more conservative long-term treatment or surgery. We'll have to see what goes on there. Mad Martin Odegaard theory as Gunner Star drops hint on future. What does this mean? Paul Merson's tipped him for an exit. With the greatest of respect to Paul Merson, unless I see something proper that's dead, he has, what's this? Odegaard's in the final 12 months of his contract. Are we sure? And he's on 240 grand a week. Well, something's going to have to be done there. You'd imagine when he gets offered a new deal. We'll have to see. What's Trossard said? I'm still a player. I'm still an Arsenal player. We'll see what happens this summer. Fair play. And he's being linked with Turkey today, people. Julian Alvarez's agent has claimed nobody has contacted us while being quizzed on a sensational cross-city move to Real Madrid. What has he said? We have no information on the matter. No one has contacted us. This isn't a question for me. It's a question for Julian. He's old enough to know what he's going to do, and I imagine he's already made his decision. I really have no time to care about the Julian Alvarez stuff. Even when Yerry was on the bench for England against Northern Ireland, surely we can give him a chance. Fabrizio Romano on Rafa Leao said, the feeling of Rafa Leao and those close to him is that the Premier League would be the absolute dream move and an ideal destination. In a recent interview, Leao mentioned Manchester United a few years ago. He mentioned Arsenal. We'll see what happens. Anyone taking Rafa Leao? I've covered this around Saliba already. AFC Camden has said Arsenal are interested in a number of Premier League midfielders, looking for players who bring a more vertical dynamic to the team. Rodgers a firm target, but would not be surprised if we ended up signing a couple of top PL players. Arteta values proven English/PL talent. Bring them, man. Whoever can take this thing forward, bring them to the carpet. Not sure what's going on there. Man United seem to be the favourites to sign Sandro Tonali, people ahead of Arsenal, who it doesn't seem like we've bidded for Tonali, and City, who seem to be going for Elliot Anderson. There's been some rumours that Newcastle want 100 million for Tonali. Some have said all of City, Arsenal, United don't want to go beyond the 70, 80 million euros or pounds mark. So we'll have to see how that develops. Arsenal reportedly in talks to sign Trossard to Besiktas this summer, while Aston Villa and Newcastle United are also interested in the 31-year-old, who got 8 goals in 50 appearances last season, did start the Champions League final, and is one of potentially several players who could move. He's got a 1-year deal remaining on his current deal. There's also been talks of an extension, been linked with Besiktas, who failed to sign him last summer. Apparently, Aston Villa, Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan, Juventus, Newcastle are all keeping tabs. And as well as that, Arsenal are eyeing a blockbuster move for Morgan Rogers, while they also have been linked with a summer move for Barcola, and obviously Morgan Gibbs-White. So we'll have to see. I mean, he probably could be sacrificed. Where is the Barcola news as well? There was something around Barcola. We'll find it. Don't worry, folks. We will definitely find it. Start clicking off these things. Yep. Gone over that. What's this? So that's about Trossard. Oh, there we go. Deschamps tells Barcola to sort future out before the World Cup. PSG face a fight to keep hold of him. Arsenal and Liverpool reportedly keen on his services. Doesn't seem like he's keen to renew a deal, people. Obviously, the faster the situation is clarified, the better it will be. But it applies to everyone. I tell everyone that once the World Cup has started, there'll be no need to think about anything else. Apparently, that's where he's at. Apparently, Mbemba favours a move to Arsenal. So there could be 2 potential PSG players. We've made an approach according to the BBC as well as everybody else. He's been offered a new deal by Luis Enrique's side, but is open to joining Arsenal. He's favouring a move to Arsenal, who view him as a long-term option at left-back, despite him operating as a centre-half, people. Apparently, we've suffered a blow in our pursuit of Fernandes, as Jose has asked for him to go Chelsea. There's also some reports that say we're remaining in talks around him. So we'll have to see what half of these reports, if they do come to truth.